whether it's mental health, physical health, or like me and you all of the above, it's hard to really come forward and be like, hey, I'm not feeling like this, or I'm feeling this type of way.
40 to 70% of people with lupus find that this disease is made worse by exposure to UV rays from sunlight or even artificial light. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys what I did to survive.
So inside of the freezer bag, we have some wipes for cleanup, some ice packs, it helps with the itching. I have several freaking ice packs, y'all. And at the bottom, to keep this cool, because I love it when it's cool, I have my different sunscreens and some aloe vera cooling gel.
Imagine being so sensitive to the sun's rays that you're forced to either to douse yourself in sunscreen or risk a rash so severe it could leave permanent scarring. For some patients, even the light of a photocopier is enough to trigger a flare.
I heard you. I just want to make sure I have on enough sunblock since I'm going out there. I think that's another thing people that don't know about lupus have to think about too. Like, a lot of people don't understand that even though it's not, the sun ain't real bright outside, you still had the ultraviolet rays, and it's not really the sun. And that's what they be thinking. Well, it's because we call it sun sensitivity or light sensitivity. And it's really the UV rays. Because you can get them from certain kind of light. Yeah.
When you are photosensitive, life requires some modification. Some common symptoms that include a flare are ongoing fever or clamminess not due to infection, painful to swollen joints, increased fatigue, rashing, sores and or mouth and nose ulcers, general swelling, and some flares, however, happen with no symptoms. A flare is when you're experiencing a measurable increase in disease activity in one or more organ system involving new or worse clinical signs and symptoms.
Today was hard because of what happened last night. So it's hard for us to every day get things right. Of course, I had to prepare to get into school this morning. In doing so, that means I have to put on sunscreen because I'm going outside. Even though it's not very bright outside, as you can see, I'm going outside. UV rays exist. Ultraviolet rays are what causes a lot of flare-ups when it comes down to sun sensitivity. And they're dangerous to me because I have lupus.
According to Dr. Sabrina Newman, exposure to UV light causes damage to everyone's cellular DNA. However, with lupus survivors, the antibodies in the immune system used to fight infection wrongly target proteins with normal cells and cause an immune reaction, according to associate professor in the Department of Dermatology at the University of Texas Southwest Medical Center in Dallas. The dead cells stick around and trigger an immune system attack.
Umbrella. Even though it's not raining, but it will shade you from the UV rays. So, umbrella, a douse of sunscreen.
As with many chronic illnesses, common Western medical aids prescribe plenty of medications to help assist with minimizing the symptoms of flares. Unfortunately, there are quite a few of these drugs that may increase our triggers, such as antibiotics like doxycycline, anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, several blood pressure medications, and the one that I and other lupies can't live without, hydrochloroquine or Plaquenil. On our fairly good days, my mother and I, who is also a lupus warrior, go and rack up on things that we need to help us with our conditions, especially during flares. A lot of times this is like once or twice a month that we go and get the supplies that we need.
SPF 15.
So if I use that, I ain't got to put on the...
Yes, you do. Because really you need at least 30. And this is 70. And see, that's what I be trying for. That's 70. These are the things I was telling you that I get for my eyes. But not them, because those are the ones that's got the separate ones in it. They come in little separate things.
About how much you think we spend on, like, just everything for our lupus, just day-to-day care? Over-the-counter items was like $200 and something. Do you think it was anywhere between like $500 to $1,000 a month?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, we don't make everything. Well, this is stuff that we have to do. We buy when we buy groceries. And this is the expense. This is stuff that we use daily, right?
Yep. Now this Benadryl anti-itch cream, it's just a little cheaper than that. You want to get that?
Yeah.
But right here,
It's
that's the same.
This is extra strength.
Right. And this doesn't say extra
This is maximum
Maximum.
strength. This is what happens after walking around Walmart for about an hour or so. It's time to put this leg up and lay back. As my girl Tony say, sometimes a bleep got lupus. So sometimes a bleep gotta sit there and do nothing sometimes. Shout out to my loopy sister Tony Braxton.
While genetics may play a part in the affair of developing lupus, it does take some type of environmental trigger to set off the illness and trigger a flare. Some common triggers include UV rays, either from sun or fluorescent light, prescription drugs, for example, Bactrim, minoxidil, amoxicillin, and other popular medications, an infection, traumatic injury, emotional or physical stress, and even exhaustion.
I don't need no ulcers. I got enough going on.
No, I just got right to it.
Some days are better than others. Photosensitivity covers not only skin disease flares, but also systemic symptoms like fatigue and arthralgias. Because of this, sometimes the sun damage is so severe for me that I can barely move or even walk normally. So I have to go out covered if I'm able to go out at all. Here is an example of one of those days.
Okay, I got your pocket. Go ahead. Got the dog, baby? That's her water, too. Get that water right there. Okay, go, Jay. Go, Jay. Keep going, Jay. Oh, I was holding your son. Go. No song. No, baby. Come on, I got it, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, Betty. Okay, get it. All right. Can't stand no song. She in here. They take that black one. She didn't cover up. She didn't need to get her back. Someone didn't hit her. No, that's why I had to cover up. It cover up. But when she pull out, the song gonna be on. Someone hit her now.
On days like these, the holistic treatments are my best options, as the severity of my condition often trigger the symptoms of my remitting multiple sclerosis, as well as the skin damage, and it oftentimes stunts my mobility. Thank goodness for my support system. My favorite found holistic treatment is purely cool water and oatmeal. Now, to some people, to take a few tablespoons of baking soda with the oatmeal and put it into a cool bath to help soothe their irritation. But the baking soda actually causes my skin to be more irritated after sun damage. So, because I can't really move around by myself as much during that time, the inflammation gets really rough, and my mom and I, as well as my aunt and other family members, we've figured out that we can make a paste with just oatmeal and cool water as I'm in a cool sit-down bath. I love this bathtub as well, you guys. It's definitely a big helper, and I plan on making a video giving a review of the tubs, so look out for that. Now, depending on the harshness of my scarring, it could take anywhere from a day to a month or so to recovery. And when I am able to move around and start treating my skin myself, I definitely do just that. So I go through these treatments for however long it takes. And again, I must say thank you to my support system, because my child, my mom, everyone has a huge helping hand in what I deal with the day to day. And they're so awesome with me, helping me and assisting me when I need it, and also allowing me to be independent when I am able-bodied. That is a very important part of my recovery as well. The support system and the support from all of you. So I wanted to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to ask you guys to follow me on all platforms. So like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel.